me under, take me under your wing, crack of thunder, as a wild bird sing. You can hear hunger crying out, a sonic echo that leaves no room for doubt. All the shots bring it back to what it's not. Make a move, do we do? As the world cries tears in our hands, are we all part of a bigger plan? All the shots bring it back to what it's not. Deepest oceans, they can't betray enough. Empty spaces, time to rust and dust. There's no wonder left for us to love. No warmth or shelter, just satellites above. All the shots bring it back to what
Hello race fans and welcome to the World Touring Car Series live here from Sebring International Raceway. My name is Peter Mackay and joining me tonight here on RaceSpotTV for some touring car action. He's not this time Nolan Rempel, he's off enjoying his birthday. Today I have Stefan Schlacker with me. Stefan, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Peter. And Sebring, it's always an endurance race, but touring cars, we have seen it from real life races. That track can really guarantee some very great racing.
That is for sure. Yes, we're going to have 3 sprint races for you tonight here in the World Touring Car Series. And the championship fight, well, it is hotting up at the moment between Ross McFarlane and Corentin Guinez. Not much to separate there at the moment, with McFarlane leading the points by a pretty slender margin. Slowly but surely, Corentin Guinez's Corsim Racing teammate Kieran Harrison is catching up. He had a difficult start to the season, but the Englishman is really coming on strong now and up into 3rd position in the standings. Don't write off Wojciech Savidovic, he's in there in 4th, with Karl Janssen vaulting up in 5th. We've not seen Ash Sutton for a couple of weeks now. He's dropped to 6th in the points, with David Baker in 7th, Fraser Smith in 8th, Oscar Mangan in 9th, and Michael Evdoka rounds out the top 10. In the AM Championship, well, very tight indeed. A great week out at Barber Motorsport Park certainly put Tom Dadswell in a good position. He leads the championship from Neil Butler, with Jake Blackcall in 3rd, Ben Gregory in 4th, and Michael Polishek rounding out the top 5. In the team standings, well, it's Pure Sims Esports who lead the way by a minute margin. Just 20 points separates Pure Sims and Core Sim Racing. It's been Core Sim Racing who have dominated qualifying in race 1, with Pure Sims getting the points on the board later on in the day. Majors Garage FSR Audi, they're sitting in 3rd, with Core Sim Racing Black in 4th, and Semper Racing rounding out the top 5. Now, Sebring International Raceway is an iconic track. They've been racing here since 1950, and the iconic 12-hour race since 1952. And our colleague Paul Smith, who takes part in the World Touring Car Series, in his practice, he's very kindly put together a handy guide for us. So check it out.
Hello everybody, welcome along to round number 8 of the World Touring Car Series, coming to you this time from a track synonymous with endurance racing. It is Sebring International Raceway. 3.7 miles long is this track, and it is a real challenge for those drivers. Quite a fast track with some technical sections in and around there as well. It's a really going to be interesting one, because there's plenty of overtaking opportunities to be had around this track, and of course you've got to respect the bumps. Held its first Sebring 12 hours back in 1952, even held a round of the Formula 1 World Championship in 1959, where Sir Jack Brabham won his first of 3 World Championships whilst pushing his car across the finish line. Let's take you then on a look at this magnificent lap. Okay then, let's have a look at a lap of this fantastic venue, Sebring. Really tricky braking into the final corner, because you've got to get the line right, get a good run out of here, because you've got to carry the speed all the way across the start and finish line. Very bumpy over the start and finish line. Get it over to the right hand side. Watch out for this pit wall at the end there, because it just juts out a little bit into turn 1. You see a cone on the barrier, that's where you're aiming for your apex. Careful not to run too far wide. Bring it over to the middle and then straighten up your braking zone for turn 3. 2nd gear. Don't touch the curbs around here if you can help it. Turn 6. Important to get the run out of turn 6. Through turn 7 now. Flat out. Underneath the bridge. We're heading to the hairpin, and you want to be braking right about where these cones are. Get it down to 1st gear. Through the hairpin, careful on the exit there not to take too much dirt on that left. Through Fangio. Again, flat out corner is this one. To see how the bumps are a real challenge around this track. Look for the 3 cones. Down to 2nd gear. It ran a little bit wide there. Through Cunningham. now down towards Tower. This is a tricky braking zone because you're turning and braking at the same time at the start of it. Get it in nice and early on the power because you've got to carry this speed now all the way through the back section of the lap, heading out towards Le Mans. Nearly at the end of the lap here. Get it down to third gear, back end, want to step out. Avoid the curbs too much now. Down to second gear, get the power out of this corner. You've got to carry the speed out of Le Mans, all the way down the Ullman Straight. Heading towards Sunset Bend. It's a corner with about 1,000 different lines. It really is. Tricky in a front wheel drive car. Let the back end just slide around a little bit to give you that little bit of rotation on the power. Hold it to the left hand side if you're on a hot lap to get the fastest, shortest line to the finish line. And there you go, that is a lap around this magnificent venue at Sebring International Raceway. You're going to see plenty of opportunistic moves, you're going to see plenty of people setting up moves from a few corners before, and certainly 3 20-minute sprint races around here. It's going to be fun, fast and frenetic. Through this section is going to be tricky on laps 1 and 2, but once everyone spreads out, it shouldn't be too bad. I hope you all enjoy the racing today, and I'll see you again next time.
Well, thank you, Paul. Very kind indeed for you to take us on a trip around this fantastic circuit with some great historical facts in there too. Top marks, and you'll see Paul racing in the Team Mad Hyundai in just a short moment. Qualifying is just in the process at the moment, and the drivers should be gridding up very soon for this first round of the day. 3 sprint races, the first race starting in the order that the drivers qualify in, but then in race 2 and 3, that's where it gets pretty spicy when we use our reverse grid spinny wheel, which really jumbles up the order. And Stefan, that's when we'll really see who's going to be on top of the show. But why don't we take a look at our grid then? And finally, the core sim racing stronghold of the front row of the grid has been broken by Tom Dadswell in the AM class. Quite incredible. Kieran Harrison and Tom Dadswell are your front row, with Corentin Guinez and David Baker. Great qualifying from David Baker there in 4th. Ash Sutton is back with us and qualifies in 5th place, with Ross McFarlane, the championship leader, up there as always in 6th. Jake Blackhall will start from 7th with James Corp on the outside of row 4, with Wojciech Savidovic and Michael Polishek rounding out the top 10. Alex Neller and Neil Butler are your 6th row, with row 7 holding Naveed Hussain and Jamie Rushworth. Ben Gregory will start from 15th, with Mikael Garcia, Andy Shield and Craig Williams rounding out row 9. And Callum Reed-Garton and Fraser Smith round out the top 20. Difficult qualifying for Fraser in the Audi. John Roberts will start from 21st, with Paul Smith, our track guide man, starting 22nd. Then it's Dan Robbins and Adam Hedgecock. And finally in 25th place is Ellis Stevens in the new Hyundai Veloster. So, our drivers are lined up, ready to go. Not often do we see standing starts here at Sebring. It's just so often that we see GT racing and endurance racing starting with a rolling start. Something different tonight. And it will be Kieran Harrison who starts on pole position, with his teammate Corentin Guinez right there behind, and Tom Dadswell takes his spot on the front row. A lot of talk in the midweek how the drivers best get these cars off the line. There's a few different tricks. Let's see who gets it best and who wins that long run down towards turn 1 here. Very blind, fast left-hander. And a big bump on entry and a big bump on the exit. So you've got to be super, super careful there to make sure and not have an incident. Revs are up. And green, 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 we're racing here at Sebring, and it's a lightning getaway from Kieran Harrison, who leaves Tom's Dadswell in the dust. And now Corentin Guinness there. Is he going to get up into second position? Yes, he does. But Kieran Harrison, what a getaway as they head down towards Christensen Corner for the first time.
Yeah, what a getaway there indeed. Not the greatest start from Dadswell either, so he's getting shoved down now a little bit down the order, but he's trying to keep his foot in the door here for the top 5 right now.
Yeah, I saw Ash Sutton there in the blue and yellow Napa Auto Parts machine, just putting a big heavy move there into Christensen Corner on Tom Dadswell, and Ash Sutton has got through. They jostle for position. Ross McFarlane there, got to be careful at banging doors there with Wojciech Savidovic. Dadswell there on the inside. There goes McFarlane. Can't really find a way around just yet. As the leading cars make a breakaway, it's Harrison from Corentin Guinness. David Baker, superb start from Baker. Now, who's that? Somebody's got a slowdown penalty
That's
there.
Dadswell.
Oh, it's Dadswell. Oh, Steph, what a disastrous first lap.
Yeah, incredible. Such a great qualifying, and then somewhere picked up that off track. I didn't see him go anywhere cutting or going very wide. So very, very intriguing how he picked that one up. But obviously now very far down the order.
Yeah, that's a real pity there for Tom Dadswell. Started on the front row of the grid. He's down at the moment in 20th position. Disastrous. However, here in the World Touring Car Series, we've got 2 more races to go, so plenty of time to recover his night. And we know he's got good speed underneath that car, so maybe when he settles in, we'll see him go back up the order again as he's side by side with Ben Gregory. Just 20-minute races, so you've not got much time to dither around. Looks like Dadswell really struggling there with a bit of understeer there on a full fuel tank. It's now a drag race down the Alec Ullman Straight down towards Sunset Bend. Opportunity for drafting and jostling. This is like Talladega rather than Sebring.
Yeah, it most definitely seems like that, but that's the great offerings of Sebring. That very long backstretch, the Ullman Straight, it has that great capability, unlike Barber last week where we saw not much of the draft race, and there's somebody in the wall now as well, out of it, and we're once again 3 wide.
Oh yeah, somebody's fallen foul of the exit wall on the run out of Sunset Bend. I didn't quite catch which car it was, but I think they've taken a tow back to pit lane already as they all file through turn 1, 3 wide through turn 1. How do you like it? Touring car racing at its absolute best. It's a dive down into turn 3 Christensen Corner, but it's Kieran Harrison who's executed perfectly, put the car on pole position. To ride on board with Naveed Hussain. Great to have Naveed joining us in the series. Whoa! Well, he's getting a rude awakening to it, Steph. Bit of a barge there.
Yeah, quite the barge. That must have been wheel-to-wheel contact directly, because that wheel got jolted over to the left side. Great car control from Naveed Hussain to keep it all under his toes. But the question right now is, how many cars do fit side by side on a straight here at Sebring? The answer is yes.
Yeah, as many as you can fit. Yeah, and keep going. If there's, it's like fitting cars on a ferry. You could say here at Sebring, but you actually with all these touring cars, it really shows just how narrow the circuit is in places, and then it does open up a little bit as they come onto the Ullman Straight. More side by side action. Back on board with Hussain. A very good TCR driver. We've seen him competing in other TCR championships in the past and deciding to take the Honda Civic Type R. A beautiful handling machine. Maybe doesn't necessarily have the pace that the Hyundais do, but it's a beautiful car to drive. I know you're a fan, aren't you, Steph? The Civic?
Yes, I am very much. As you said, it doesn't have quite the drive, but its turning capability sets it apart from anything else in this series. However, this is its nemesis track. It really doesn't like bumps.
Yes, it's a fine-tuned beast, that's for sure. The longer wheelbase Hyundai Elantra really seems to ride the bumps quite well. Well, this is something we've seen quite a lot in race 1 here this season in the World Touring Car Series. Kieran Harrison, Corentin Guinness, 2 Forsum racing cars leading the way. And look at that, Ross McFarlane then swoops past Ash Sutton. Now, these cars are running in very different liveries. You've got the white, blue and black Pure Sims Hyundai of Ross McFarlane, our championship leader. You've also got the blue and yellow Napa Auto Parts Hyundai of Ash Sutton. Now, Ash Sutton, if you recognise the name, it is the very same triple British Touring Car champion Ash Sutton, and this is his new livery for his real-world race car in the British Touring Car Championship this year. However, those two cars, McFarlane and Sutton, both run out of the same awning. They are both part of the Pure Sims outfit, which Sutton is an owner of. So, interesting, a little bit of team tactics going on there, Steph, with McFarlane being allowed by.
Oh, and somebody's also getting allowed by. No, they're not. Fraser Smith. Woo!
Well,
that was a great save.
I think that might have been Jack Cedric with a little bit of RG and indeed Bargy there, going past Fraser Smith. Fraser will not be particularly impressed about that. So Ross McFarlane then allowed through by his teammate, or stablemate if you like, Ash Sutton, and got to get those championship points on the board as best as possible, as Callum Reed-Garton making the switch from the Hyundai Elantra to the Hyundai Veloster, which has just come on to the service about halfway through the season. So some drivers have taken the option to switch their car halfway through the season. As one of the Craig Setup Shop cars has a little look there, that's number 38 going through there. Quite catch who that is in that car. That one's, I think that might. Right, we'll come back to that one. Can't quite. These Craig Setup Shop cars, they're beautifully painted, but trying to spot the number on them. No, number 16. No, never mind. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. No, it's Jack Cedric, number 10. We got the at the end.
There we go.
We needed a nice close shot. Maybe I need to change my glass prescription.
I mean, it is very hard to spot it on these cars, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt there. But he's side by side now with Callum Garton here on the inside, one of our amateur drivers sitting in 11th place. And, you know, looking at this Veloster, I kind of have to feel like it is one of the newest cars, yes, but it seems like it's not as popular as, for example, the Elantra.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's definitely got a shorter wheelbase than the Elantra, which does, I guess, makes it a little bit more twitchy on the limit, whereas the Elantra is a big friendly Labrador of a car and it's been so popular in this championship. Oscar Mangan not running where he would like to be for Corsom Racing. He's back at the kind of the wrong end of the top 20 right now as they head down into, he's getting a big shove from behind from Naveed Hussain. So we're right on board with Paul Smith in the Team Mad Hyundai Veloster. Nice and simple, straightforward inside in these race cars. You don't need any frills, just the right setup, the right equipment. And Paul Smith making that car work, getting some good results with the little Veloster. Paul's been really unlucky, missing out a lot of the reverse grid draws, so hopefully where he is right now, hopefully he'll be able to pick himself up a reverse grid draw and get a good grid position for race number 2. But Harnison leads by 0.6 of a second at the moment, but Cornteguina is now fastest man on the circuit. He's just said it last time by, a 2:12.584, 0.2 quicker than his teammate last time by.
Yeah, David Baker as well is dropping off the back of Guinness by about 0.3 per lap. And, you know, Ross McFarlane, he is our current championship leader, but even he is just not able to go anywhere the pace of the Core Sim Sport drivers, nor of David Baker. So Ross McFarlane really struggling as of right now in that 4th place.
Interestingly, Michael Polishek has ditched his trusty Audi RS3 LMS TCR and switched to the shiny new Hyundai Elantra. So Polishek running very well at the moment in the AM class, but we've got a lot of AM class runners fighting at the front of the field. Jake Blackhall leads that at the moment. Cedric gets a little hip check there. Did well to hang on to that, Steph.
Yeah, might have turned in a little bit too early on the 22 there to the inside, but very well held. Also didn't lose position, only a little bit of time, and I'm quite sure the way he was racing there for the 11th place, he'll have that back in no time.
Yeah, so at the moment the top 6 cars are all Pro Class cars, and interestingly all Hyundai Elantras. First of the AM class drivers, signified by their blue number on our timing tower. It's Jake Blackhall in the 97 car with the 285 of James Corp in 8th overall, 2nd in the AM class, and Michael Polishek making 3 AM drivers up there in the overall top 10 at the moment. Callum Reed-Gartner not far too. So, what have we got here to have a look? Let's see. I think this is maybe... Oh, Ben Gregory getting nerfed out the way there by Oscar Mangan. Dear me. Oh my. Well, well, well. It's Jack Sedgwick now getting his elbows out there, trying to get past Neil Butler, and manages to get the job done. He heads down the Flying Fortress Straight, named after the Flying Fortress aircraft that used to live here when this was a World War II air base. Same type of aircraft that were held at Snetterton when it was a World War II air base.
Connections of great racing circuits.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. There's Naveed Hussain making sure he's just on the edge of the top 20 at the moment. There's Pete Newman in the pro class back in 23rd. He'll want to try and make some progress up the order if he can. Here he comes. Pete Newman's got a good run here on Lee Berridge. Looks up the inside at Sunset Bend. When you go for this dive, you've got to try and not lose it and go careering into the car. Oh, Spinner in the background. Spinner. It's the number 13 car. Oh, dear. Adam Hedgecock.
That is a strange place to spin for a TCR car. Wonder if he had some help around there in the Sunset Bend.
Yeah, maybe did get a little bit of help. Of course, Adam Hedgecock, a unique sim setup at home. He's got a fish tank in the background, and that is definitely some help there from the 360 car.
Craig Williams.
Craig Williams. Well, you know, I suppose when you're the series sponsor, you maybe get a little bit more of a leeway for stuff like that, possibly. That was a joke before anyone takes that seriously. let's shut that one down straight away. So Oscar Mangan is making progress now. He's up to 16th spot. And he's got behind him in 17th position Rafael Dressaz, the teammate of Wojciech Savidovic, who's up there in 6th place. And that mid-pack, McFarlane, Sutton and Savidovic, they're all very closely packed together. So McFarlane will need to kind of get the foot down here to try and escape that, because if he gets into a fight there, not what the championship leader will want. So 7 minutes to go in this race, about a third of the way through. 2 more to come here in the World Touring Car Series. A all new championship here in the World Sim Racing League paddock. Of course, we have the World GT Championship, the long-standing, very successful World GT Championship, which we broadcast here on RaceSpotTV on Monday night. So Monday night for GTs, Thursday for these tin top machines. And Steph, this category really has been revitalised with the addition of these 3 new cars.
Yeah, most definitely. It was stagnating quite significantly if you also look at the official iRacing series, but we got these great cars in quick succession, and I don't think a TCR fan can be much more happier than, well, not Lee Berridge right now, because that is a very unhappy fella.
Yeah, Lee Berridge having to take a tow back to pit lane. That beautifully painted boosted motorsport machine now goes in very hot indeed, and almost takes the number 7 of Naveed Hussain with him. Big lunge up the inside, just loses it on the bumps, and Hussain, I think, just about gets away with it.
Yeah, he just about got away with it. Great thing for him is that he only got tangled with the front bumper there, so he kind of spun the 54 around himself and sort of got past it unscathed in reality.
Yeah, it's the least Hussain there managed to get through, but the game over for Berridge. He'll have to fight back throughout the rest of the night. But this is a train forming up. Something we don't normally see. A train forming up behind Ross McFarlane. Ash Sutton right there behind. And then Wojciech Savidovic, of course, in contention for the championship. Ash Sutton's missed a few weeks, so he's not necessarily fighting for the overall title. And the 3-time British Touring Car Champion does use this high-level sim racing to practice to get race sharp before the start of the season. And I wonder if he's maybe just playing a little bit of rear gunner there to his teammate Ross McFarlane. Don't be fooled by the different colour schemes. They are very much part of the same outfit. Speaking of outfits, the Full Send team was always a very good representation. Right on board with Andy Shield for FreeM UK, one of our series sponsors.
Yeah, and he's right now fighting against Mangan, but right now Oscar is actually looking to attack here Fraser Smith to the outside for 14th.
Yeah, number 167 there, Fraser Smith, trying to make some progress from a really tricky qualifying for the young man who works for the Market Auction House, a car auction house. But not just any car auction house, they sell lovely classics and rarities. And yeah, you must get to see some pretty cool stuff at work as Oscar Mangan nearly runs into the back there. Oh, that was close.
And just about gets left enough space to the outside there. A little bit of a bumper shove as well to Fraser Smith, who shuts the door very firmly. But this is not over yet. I think there's something to come into the hairpin.
Hello to Rachel Williams. Great to see you here joining us for this World Touring Car Series event. Oh, Steph. Oh dear.
No. They were asking for it, and there it was. Mangan and Fraser Smith collect each other.
Oh, there was a bit of an air of inevitability about that, and looks like Fraser Smith got wheel damage and suspension damage and all kind of problems. Yeah, look at that. He's got 3.5 wheels on his wagon there. Now, can Fraser Smith get that car back to pit lane and take a quick repair?
Nah.
No, is the answer. What a pity. Right, back to the front. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Not long. We, of course, just over our lap times now. A quick lap, about a 2 minute 13 here at Sebring. So let's get another look at that. And what do you make of that one, Steph?
I don't know, it is hard to tell. Yes, Fraser Smith didn't leave a lot of room to the 99, but the 99 also dragged a little bit to the right there on the brake, which is just natural. You set up teasers to be quite oversteery on brakes, so I don't know. I would nearly put it down as a racing incident.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same. As now, is Ash Sutton going to break rank here? Is he? Of course, he is the team boss, but I'm sure he's wanting to help Ross McFarlane as best he can to a championship fight here. Harrison and Guinez, they are well up the road, as is David Baker, looking to score a brilliant opening podium. And of course, race number 1 is really all about raw pace. You've got to qualify the car well on a hot lap, then you've got to lead away from the front. That's just very pure in that sense. But when we get into race 2 and 3, it's much more tactical and much more about how you can fight your way through the field and particularly avoid trouble. And that's something where Ross McFarlane really is the master of the art. But on pace right now, as has been for more or less the whole season in race 1, Harrison and Guinez, the Course and Racing train, race 1 has really been their exclusive great playground. Looks like we'll have 1 lap to go when we get to the stripe. We'll have to just see what time they get round as wow. Well, goodness, that was riding on board there with Wojciech Savinovic. If you weren't sure what team Ash Sutton was driving for in the 22-2 season, you got a close up there. Motorbase.
Yeah, not only that, but we also now know what a exhaust from a Hyundai looks like.
The inside of it.
From the inside.
Yes, exactly. Right inside it. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Ash Sutton's getting good attention for his sponsors there as well. As Wojciech Savinovic got right up underneath the bumper. And a little tap there for Wojciech Savinovic. A push to pass, possibly. But Sutton's, he's seen those before. He knows he's given a few out as well. You don't survive in the British Touring Car Championship without having sharp elbows. And Savinovic, and whether it was intentional or not, I don't know, but it certainly loosened the rear of Sutton's Hyundai Elantra up as the checkered flag is in the air. Looks like we're going to get the checkered now. Kieran Harrison wins by 2.2 seconds here in round 1 of the World Touring Car Series at Sebring. Thornton Guinness comes home in second and just gets a few more points to chip away at that gap between him and championship leader Ross McFarlane, who comes home, I have to say, Steph, a pretty distant 4th place.
Yeah, he is 7 seconds in the end back, and he is even nearly 3.5 seconds away from his own teammate. So really, Ross McFarlane not looking all that strong as he did just in the last round.
Well, it's we shall see. This is, as we know, Ross McFarlane's party piece is definitely his reverse grid race 2 and 3 performances. As Barney the flagman gives the same enthusiasm to the drivers completing later down the field than those at the front. It's very fair in that way. It's our resident flagman here on the iRacing platform. You can see there on the left-hand side of your shot all of the winning manufacturers and countries of those manufacturers in the Sebring 12-hour race. All have got their place on the Hall of Fame across the pit lane wall. Now it's time for our infamous spinny wheel. This sets the grid for race 2, so this tells us how many cars we need to reverse from the order. Gone past 30, that's a big one. And is it going to be 26? Looks like it's going to be a 26 car grid reversed. It is then. So we'll wait for our results to be confirmed and we'll find out who is going to be on pole position for race number 2. But race 1, well, it was all about Kieran Harrison. Pole position, launched the car perfectly off the line and was never even troubled. He wins by 2.2 seconds from Thornton Guinness, his teammate. David Baker, a superb performance, getting there on the podium in 3rd for Knight Rider Motorsports. Ross McFarlane, the championship leader, comes home in 4th, with teammate Ash Sutton in 5th and Wojciech Savidovic in 6th. Jake Blackhall was top of the AM class in the number 97 Pure Sims Hyundai, with Michael Polishek and James Corp right on his heels. Jamie Rushworth rounds out the top 10. Callum Reed-Garton, a great drive from him in 11th, with Jack Cedric in 12th. Neil Butler was 13th, followed by Andy Shield and Mikael Garcia. Rafael Dressage was 16th, followed by Michael F. Doka, Alex Neller, Paul Smith and Oscar Mangan. 21st was Craig Williams with Ben Gregory in 22nd. Then it's Pete Newman, Dan Robbins, John Roberts and Adam Hedgecock. Despite having a little thrill and a spill there, he will be your pole sitter for race number 2. Unfortunately, that means that poor old Ellis Stevens, he's, well, we've all been there in a game of Pass the Parcel. He's the one where the music stops and unfortunately just missed out. He will start 27th. David Hussein will start in 28th, followed by Lee Berridge and Fraser Smith. Difficult day for Fraser Smith so far, with Tom Dadswell. Oh, he definitely takes the biscuit a difficult day. Started on the front row of the grid and coming home last place.
Yep.
Oh, Steph. I mean, what can we say about that? I mean, let's start with Kieran Harrison. That was straight out of the textbook.
Yeah, you really can't do it any better. I mean, Sebring, it doesn't look that hard, but because all the bumps, the high curbs, it really throws your car around. You really have to be on it 10 times out of 10. Otherwise, you are going to have a really difficult time. And, you know, speaking about difficult times, which Kieran Harrison totally didn't have, Tom Dadswell, 7 laps down. He was actually that one car we saw hit the outside wall. So literal 0 to 0 in just 17 turns.
Really a pity for Tom Dadswell. I mean, he had a heroic day out there at Barber Motorsport Park 7 days ago. Do you know, the good thing about the World Touring Car Series with our reverse grid format in race 2 and race 3, his night is not over. Race 1, let's be honest, it couldn't have gone any worse. You know, from front row of the grid to crashing out in the first lap. I mean, could not have gone much worse. It can only get better from here. And let's see what Tom Dadswell can do. We know he's got a fast car. You don't qualify in the front row. I mean, you even saw guys like Ross McFarlane well over half a second off the pace. He wasn't. He was right there with Kieran Harrison.
Yeah, he was not even a tenth off in qualifying from Kieran Harrison. He was also nearly 2/10 ahead of Quarantine Guinness, so you don't get there by just sheer luck at a track like Sebring or even this series. It has such a high ceiling of performance that you really have to be that good to get a second place on the grid as an amateur driver.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's a good point. Well, a huge thank you to our sponsors of the World Touring Car Series. First of all, 3M, producer of fantastic protective race clothing, whether you're a karter or a full-on racer in the outdoor world. 3M produce fantastic protective equipment, whether it be gloves, boots, and overalls as well, race suits. They have got you covered for that, but they also have products for the sim racing world as well. One thing, we've all been there, haven't we, Steph, when you're in a furious race and you're back and forth and it's high pressure, your palms get pretty sweaty. Mine certainly do. I don't mind admitting mine certainly do. I don't know about you, but 3M produce a fantastic sim racing glove, which you can wear when you're racing, and they even have on the fingertips a special material which allows you to move around your smartphone as well. So in between races, you can check your social media, speak to your Twitch followers, whatever it is that you do. You can text all your friends, whatever you see fit.
Yeah, most definitely, and I'm very much on that front as well. I have to have some racing gloves, otherwise those wheels are not going to look very nice in a short period of time. So it is always great to have that extra grip that a racing glove gives you.
Yeah, you watch any broadcast of any of the top sim racers in the world, a few of which are taking part in this championship. They've all got proper racing gloves on, and 3M have a fantastic range. You can even get a custom-made colour as well, so you can get the matching colour to your team as well. I'm away to tomorrow, Steph. I'm very excited because tomorrow I'm away to the Azores for the European Rally Championship, and one of the drivers there, Alberto Battistoli, he wears all 3M equipment, and his car, it's beautiful. It's this kind of like blue and green colour on his Skoda Fabia, and he's got the matching overalls, of course, all made by 3M, of course. So he's my tip to win, only purely because he'll be comfortable, he'll be cool, he'll be protected, he'll be looking the best on the grid as well.
Oh yeah, his cars are always looking the best, so I'm very much on you in that style department.
Yes. Style tips from Peter and Stefan. We're the authority on style, as you can tell. Also, huge thank you as well to Craig's Setup Shop for their support of the championship. And this is something that the iRacing Simulator continues to amaze me, and it amazes, nearly, 200,000 users on the service now. It's the sheer accuracy of the iRacing service. All laser scan circuits, laser scan cars, and all of the cars on the service have the same setup adjustments that you could go into with the real car, and they have a real-time effect. The problem is, though, is that I don't know about you, Steph, but I am not an engineer, and whenever I try to fiddle with the setup, I get completely lost and I turn it into a shopping trolley. So you go onto Craig's Setup Shop. They've got setups for all different cars, all different tracks, and you can just go on there, pick up a setup, and you just plug it in, and you can get racing, get ready to go. And Steph, I'm sure you'll back me up on this one, that it saves a heck of a lot of time getting a setup that's ready to go.
Oh yeah, most definitely. No matter the leak, no matter even if it's just official iRacing, the head start these setups can give you is most definitely quite significant, because you're gonna need probably 3-4 days of work just to get onto maybe not even the same level that these setups can give you.
Now, forgive me for going off topic here, Steph. Who is your furry friend behind you? I can see moving around in the back of your camera.
Those are guinea pigs.
Oh, cool. What are they called?
That one right there that you can see, that is a banana. Then I have also muffin and cacao.
Banana, muffin, and cacao. Well, great to have them on the show. I like it. We don't get this normally, Steph. We don't normally get you on camera. Well, everyone on the chat, say hello to Banana, Muffin, and Cacao. I like that. I like that. So you weren't tempted to name them after racing drivers?
Not yet. Maybe one day we'll get someone in the house that we can name after.
Yes. Well, hopefully. I'm thinking the Austrian drivers. You could. You've got plenty choice. You could call one Richard. Richard Leeds. I imagine get Richard the guinea pig. That's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, most definitely. We can choose from a very wide variety of drivers in Austria, which is great. I mean, we also have great talents cup. Like so many are now starting up also on sim racing. So we are really starting to take off as a whole community in the sim racing world.
Yeah, absolutely. You certainly are. I guess you're not going to call one Helmet.
No.
Okay, that's good. Now I'm just saying we've got so many of you joining us here on RaceSpotTV. Thank you so much to you all for your company tonight. Let's see who. Well, of course, we mentioned special welcome to Rachel Williams. Thank you very much for your support as always. A lot of people talking about how the Hyundai Veloster, Steph, is OP, is the car to have in real life. It's the Elantra's not quite got there yet, but in the sim it's the other way around. The Elantra seems to be the car to have. Yeah,
I mean, you have to differentiate here. One is real life, one is simulated. So you're always gonna want something more stable in a simulator than turning. And I think that's what it goes for, because the Elantra is the longer wheelbase, even though they are as wide, even though it doesn't look like an Veloster looks about 3 times as wide as the Elantra. They are the same size in the width. Because you have that more stability and you still can get a lot of rotation out of it. That stability is what sets the Elantra apart from the Veloster in sim racing, because while being so much more stable over bumps and uneven surfaces, you can get pretty much the same rotation out of an Elantra as you can get out of a Veloster with the shorter wheelbase, which you can't get in real life because obviously there are certain differences that iRacing or any simulator that you go for can't quite simulate, and that's the reason why the Veloster, at least in my opinion, is the inferior car right now.
Certainly the results don't lie. Looking at that last race, the top 8 locked out by Hyundai Elantra. So yeah, the results certainly they do not lie. We've got about 3 minutes to go until we go live for race number 2. Adam Hedgecock starting on pole position. Lots of kind words coming in for Kieran Harrison's drive, and rightly so. It was just flawless, wasn't it? It was just perfect, and he made it look just so easy. But honestly, it's so hard to do that. It's impossible almost to do that, but he made it look very easy, as he does. Rachel Williams says, nice drive by Kieran. Karen Brockton says, excellent driving from Harrison. Tom Dadswell, just one word, gutted. He's put in. God, Tom, we're gutted for you. Come on, fight back. We're gonna see the fight back. The Dadswell fight back. Dino Dougalwitz, I don't know if that's his given name, his birth name, but anyway, he says, unlucky Fraser, getting front left suspension damage considering where you got hit was a strange one. Okay. BC Gaming says, I may have to check out those gloves. Absolutely you do. Get onto the FreeM website and check out their products. They've got a really cool range of stuff. But Steph, neither of us can be held responsible for any wallet damage that may be as a result of going on the FreeM website.
No, most definitely not. That is your own responsibility. We're only here for the sponsors.
BC Gaming says he's got an Alcantara wheel. Very cool, very swish. On a Ferrari 488. Well, this is perfect because it's a Ferrari 488 Alcantara wheel. That's very stylish and Italian. 3M sim racing gloves are handmade in Italy, so there you go. So it's perfect for your yes. It says his wheel has been absolutely destroyed by hand sweat and oil. So yeah, definitely get yourself a pair of 3M gloves, and that will solve that problem. Cheaper than getting a new wheel, of course. Dino Dougalwitz also said RaceSpot's first appearance of guinea pigs. Well, absolutely, that's what we're here to serve. And somebody's also saying they should have named their cat after Nicky Team. Isn't it? Nicky the cat. That's kind of got a nice ring to it as well. Less than a minute to go here at Sebring, and a little change in conditions. A slightly cooler, slightly darker conditions here, Steph. Nice low track temperature. Perfect.
Yeah, that's great conditions. It has deviated a little bit from what we saw earlier, so this is gonna be really, really great. Maybe even a little bit of setup change needed for these guys if they have dialed in their cars a little bit too much for auto temperatures.
Yeah, that's where you got to be on it with those little setup tweaks as well. Well, those who have been to Craig's setup shop and bought themselves a good setup, they will not have anything to worry about in this championship. Of course, it's an open setup. The drivers can set the car up exactly how they want. So, nearly at the end of this practice session, and we'll be ready to grid up for race number 2 of 3 here at Sebring International Raceway for the World Touring Car Series. Fantastic shots of the beautifully scanned Sebring from our producer Hugo Luis in Rio. We've got a fully international team. We've got Hugo in Rio, and we've got Stefan in Austria, and we've got me in Edinburgh in Scotland as well. That's the joy of virtual motorsport. It brings people together from all over the world, just like we have here in the World Touring Car Series. So, this is how they set up then. It's Mr. Fish Tank, Lord Hedge, Adam Hedgecock, who starts on pole position for race 2 alongside John Roberts. Then it's Dan Robbins, Pete Newman, Ben Gregory, and Craig Williams. Oscar Mangan starts 7th with Paul Smith in 8th. Then it's Alex Neller, Michael Avdoka, Rafael Dressaz, and Mikel Garcia. Then it's Andy Shield, Neil Butler, Jack Sedgwick, Callum Reed-Garton, Jamie Rushworth, and Jane Corp. Then in 19th, it's Michael Polachek, with Jake Blackhall rounding out the top 20. Then it's the heavy hitters, Wojciech Savidovic, 21st, Ash Sutton in 22nd. Then it's championship leader Ross McFarlane, David Baker, with the front 2, Corentin Guinez and Kieran Harrison starting on the 13th row of the grid. Off we go then, we're racing again, and it's a great start from Adam Hedgecock, but who's that coming around the outside there as well? I think it's Pete Newman. Yes, it is. Pete Newman gets a super getaway, as does Ben Gregory. Ben Gregory's going to shove it up the inside there as well. They go into turn 1, all piling in one after the other, and it's Newman who's got a perfect getaway as well, with Gregory in 2nd. Hedgecock now back to 3rd, and already he's getting muscled up. Danville's still, oh dear, Craig Williams gets turned around.
Oh, another car, that's core. 333, who's that?
333 now.
Davis.
Oh, Corentin Guinez, championship contender. No, this is agonising now, as the Frenchman has to get himself back onto terra firma. That's going to be a big fight back for Corentin Guinez over the next 20 minutes. Disaster, Steph.
Yeah, incredible disaster. Look at how far he's back. That pair of headlights in the rear, that was Corentin there. He really has to fight back, has to get somewhere close to the reverse grid pole, and there's another crash.
Oh dear, that's the number 3 of Jamie Rushworth off, as is Jack Sedgwick. Oh dear, there's some big names going off here on the opening lap. This is the reverse grid for you folks. This is where it gets really quite tricky, really quite nasty. Oh, clanging of metal there as Polachek loses it. Oh dear, going through Cunningham corner. Oh dear me. Well. So we're not even we're just about halfway through the opening lap of the race, and it's carnage here at Sebring. And oh, don't tell me that's
well, no.
Oh, fight back. Well, I think Tom Dadswell's maybe completed a lap in race conditions.
Oh, McFarlane! Something happened to McFarlane.
Oh, Ross McFarlane, the championship leader, off as well. What is going on? Oh, dear me. So the number 127 there of Ross McFarlane. Difficult start today. Looks like he's avoided any kind of damage as such, but a lot of work to do. But it's his teammate all the way back up the front is Pete Newman. With Ben Gregory in 2nd, Adam Hedgecock, he's recovered to 3rd. Great stuff from Hedgecock. And then it's Oscar Mangan. Look out for Oscar Mangan from the Corson Racing Hyundai Elantra right there, the white and orange car in 4th. And he's got Alex Neller right on his case as well. Another hard charger as Gregory's going to try and go all the way around side of Newman. Newman looks in his mirror saying, "You must be joking."
Deep for Newman, but holds it nicely together, so continues to lead here from the front, and Hedgecock has still P3. It was a great first few meters from Hedgecock, but he really did bottom out a little bit on the start, so it is great to see him still being in third place, but now getting overtaken by Oscar Mangan here, even pushing Gregory into the braking zone. Mangan looking very racy, and he has a huge lead on the guys he was fighting with.
Yeah, and Oscar Mangan now taking a look on Adam Hedgecock as they head down towards the hairpin. In fact, my apologies, heading down towards Cunningham. Big squeeze up the inside. There goes Hedgecock as well, and manages to hold on to the position. He's not giving it away in a hurry. So he holds on to... Hedgecock holds on to... Hedgecock's dropped back a little bit. No, that's Neller who was battling, of course, another of the boosted drivers. Similarly painted car. It's Neller who's battling away with Mangan, so Hedgecock's been shuffled back a little bit. A bit harder to pick cars out in these darker conditions as well. They all filter through, so it's two Hyundai Elantras from the Honda Civic Type R of Alex Neller. So we've got a little bit more variety at the front this time round.
Yeah, one thing is, at least right now for certain, though, we won't have another AM driver at least win race 2 unless Benjamin Gregory finds something against Pete Newman at this time.
Now look at this, we've got a little bit of tactics going on here as well. The number 16 of Neil Butler there getting into the back of John Roberts, trying to create a little bit of a bump draft action as the Audi there of Michael F. Doka, the number 989, the Pearson's car going around the long way around and making it work as well. So with Doka up into 7th spot. But your leader still is Pete Newman, who has an advantage of nearly 9/10 of a second from Benjamin Gregory, with Oscar Mangan there in 3rd. Now, you've got to think that is Mangan the danger man? Well, he was about half a second off, in fact 7/10 of a second off the pace of Newman last time by. And it just shows you, Steph, that clean air for Pete Newman. He's time trialing right now.
Yeah, most definitely, that's the great thing, but don't forget, Mangan was battling about half the lap with Neller and Co, so he really has to be on his A-game right now. A little bit of a dive there in behind from John Roberts as well. So Mangan, he is closing in already, but will there be enough time to overtake both Gregory and Newman?
So big news then, Jack Sedgwick out of the race as we saw, but also number 1, Ash Sutton is out of the race. He is sitting in pit lane. He's been in there for about 4 minutes now, so that car is done. Will we see him out for the day? We shall see as Paul Smith takes a little nudge up the inside there. Oh, can't quite get the job done. Sit up there in 13th place. Good run for Paul here in the Team Mad Hyundai Veloster. He's got Adam Hedgecock, the pole sitter, right in front of him. So let's try and dissect this as, Rushworth and Sedgwick just get tangled. It almost seems like just a little bit of racing incident there, and both drivers paying the price heavily. Whoa! Bullish heck! It looked like
innocent
Sutton there just getting... Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was actually his teammate, the number 7 of Naveed Hussain, actually getting a little bit too excited there and caused a bit of a kind of domino effect.
So what happened to Sutton? Oh no, he was in that crash. Oh,
Dadswell. Same crash as Dadswell. Oh dear. So what happened to Berridge then? Oh, whoa, Berridge. Oh, that's not where you want to go off. Oh, that wall is close. Oh dear. Oh, and the wheel comes flying off. Lee Berridge, well, the wheels have literally come off his challenge tonight, and gets the door shut in his face there. Now, was that Kieran Harrison? I didn't quite... It was one of the core cars.
Yeah, I think it might have been Harrison there. Didn't quite catch the number.
Yeah, neither did I. Well, with Dan Robbins having to limp it back to pit lane as well. So Hussain, more replays here. Hussain, of course, we saw... Oh, he's just pulling it over.
He's pulling it over.
Okay, so he's out the race. He's left the room. So Berridge gets back going again. Oh, please don't tell me he crashes in the exit of pit lane. No, he's got back going again. That's good. Okay, so that's what happened to during the melee in lap 1. And Ben Gregory, he is not letting off the scent. We saw some real AM-class heroics at Barber Motorsport Park last week. Well, Ben Gregory wants to repeat that. He is closing the gap down to Pete Newman, a pro-class driver, leading overall. Ben Gregory doesn't care a jot. He's half a second quicker last time by.
Yeah, he is also getting pushed by Oscar Mangan. Now that is that third car in line, so Oscar has caught back up, and maybe Benjamin Gregory sees the writings on the wall, just tries to find that one last bit to maybe overtake Pete Newman and try to make a run for his money, because Oscar Mangan is starting to loom bigger and bigger in that mirror.
Yeah, that's it. It just shows the, what is it they call it? The carrot and the stick theory. There's chasing the carrot, there's also being poked by the stick, and Oscar Mangan is definitely doing the poking with the stick at the moment. If you've got him in your mirrors, you know you need to get a move on, and that's what Ben Gregory's doing. So we've got a 3-car breakaway here at the front of the pack to ride on board with Ben Gregory, and it is now almost completely dark, so the drivers are really going to make sure they know the circuit inside out. Pete Newman, really struggling for grip there. The Elantra, he's got it. It's a front wheel drive car, it shouldn't do that. It's all over the place. Wow. Quite extraordinary then, that front wheel drive car wiggling the tail around over the bumps at Sebring. And Newman holding a defensive line, and here goes Gregory, but here comes Mangan as well. Mangan on the inside line there as well. Can he get it done into Christensen corner? He does. Brilliant move there from Oscar Mangan in the 99 Corsim Racing Hyundai. So it's Pure Sims versus Corsim Racing at the front of the field. We know that story well, but it's not the usual characters. It's Newman versus Mangan this time.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Oh, we see another crash. John Roberts keeps it out of the tire barriers. How did he do that?
Well, and how did put Michael Avdoka stay out the tyre barrier as well? He was kind of taken along for the ride there as Paul Smith is tucking in behind championship leader Ross McFarlane, who once again, while all the other rivals falter, Ross McFarlane just chips away relentlessly. Must be so difficult to race across the whole season against the Scotsman. And well, he's up into 13th place at the moment. For reference, his championship rival Corentin Guinez is in 21st. Kieran Harrison, winner from race 1, 19th.
Yeah, he is doing great, and also don't forget, he also had a coming together with Naveed Hussain on the first lap, so he went back up a little bit, fell down the order, and is now once again back in P14. So McFarlane 14th might not be that big, but don't forget, he had those issues, plus there's still that second reverse grid race coming up soon.
Oh, running a bit wide there for Ross McFarlane as we follow him in the chopper cam. Coming out of Le Mans Curve onto the Ullman Straight. And now we've got a challenge for the lead, and we do look at the grip there for Oscar Mangan as Pete Newman. That car looks very loose. It looks very much a handful for the number 58. And Ben Gregory, I think he smells blood now as well. Newman looks vulnerable here as Oscar Mangan hits the front with 8.5 minutes to go here at Sebring, and that car, you can just see, look at that, Pete Newman just having to dab the brake all the time to try and keep that Pure Sims Hyundai under control. Head on the brakes now into Christensen corner and round turn 4 and turn 5 and up towards Gurney Bend. I tell you what, Steph, these cars, they really do move around under braking.
Yeah, they most definitely do. Obviously, literally no weight in the rear, except for a little bit of plastic or aluminium, depending on what your car is built of. So all the front just goes to the front, and then all the weight goes to the front, and so you have a very light rear. Also, most of the time have the brake bias set quite far back, further than you would expect, so that also creates all that wiggling, and obviously also a lot of turning as James Corp here fighting for 11th place.
Yeah, James Corp in the Majors Garage Honda Civic Type R as he's got championship leader Ross McFarlane right behind him. So we'll need to just keep an eye on it as well. We know that McFarlane doesn't tend to go for any kind of half-hearted moves. He's very calculated the way he cuts his way through the pack, and see, there you go, he's got really good awareness there. Just leaves his turn in that little bit later and lives to fight another day as James Corp holds on to the inside line. But you can be sure that McFarlane will quickly be back onto the case of Corp and looking to make up another spot. But it's that. Oh, who's that off in the background? Oh, it's Paul Smith.
Paul Smith.
Oh, Paul. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Well, Paul, of course, gave us that wonderful track guide earlier on, and he's off in the Hyundai Veloster now. Did he fall or was he pushed? Not sure. Well,
Jake Blackhall was very close to him, so might have to do something with the number 97.
Well, certainly, well, we'll see. We'll reserve judgment until we see the footage. But Corrington Guinez, well, on the fight back, he was right down the bottom of the order, last by a long way after the first couple of corners after an incident, and he's fought his way back up into 15th spot now and has the fastest lap of the race. Whoa! Oh! Pete Newman's off! Newman's off and he's in the middle of the road with no rear right wheel! Oh no! Well, another example of how Sebring International Raceway really does bite, and there goes his teammates coming through. Oh, and he gets a tap there. Who was that? Oh, Pete Newman. Well, Sebring, the walls are just so close here. It's old school.
I think that was Blackhall who hit him there, and I think also Blackhall now has a damaged left front suspension from that.
That was very unlucky. I don't think Pete Newman realised that he was missing his rear right wheel. Let's see what happened then. Oh, he gets a huge shunt then from Gregory. Oh, and Pete Newman nearly misses the barrier and just clips it, and it rips the right rear wheel off. And he can't tell. And it turns the car into an unpredictable... Well, it looks more like a boat than a car there. And yes, you're right. Good spot, Steph. That was Blackhall. And he just toes in time before Corrington Guinez could come through.
Incredibly unlucky there, obviously, for him. Now, yeah, you could argue he could have seen it already or felt it being on the grass, but that's exactly on the grass. You don't really feel that the car is, well, only a three-wheeler now. And as soon as he was on the tarmac, he realized, oh no, there's something majorly wrong with my car. I need to back out of it, but it was already too late. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's your answer for Paul Smith. Just Blackhall just drives into the side of him there, really. So, okay, catch our breath. Oscar Mangan, he's checked out. 4 minutes to go, and he's 2.5 seconds up the road. Ben Gregory might well have damage because that was a pretty hard hit. He got up on the inside, up the curb, and into the side of Newman. It was pretty messy. So we might see Rafael Dressage drive by Ben Gregory here. And Alex Neller, he's in there for the fight as well in the Honda. There he is. He's going for the round. They try and go around the outside here. But you know that Ben Gregory is going to try and defend as much as he can as Dressage and Neller absolutely side by side. If they're smart, they'll be able to try and make an attack on Gregory. But meanwhile, Gregory's looking in his mirror saying, oh yes, you guys do that. You have a bunch up and I'll just scamper off into the distance.
Yeah, it is still about 3.5 minutes left in the race, so not too much time for these guys to sort this out and chase after P2. And obviously, as I said, with a little bit of air damage that Gregory most definitely will have suffered from his incident. He is going to be a little bit more of a sitting duck down the long Almond Straight.
Yeah, that damage, you're right, Steph, that damage is certainly not going to help his straight line speed, that's for sure. 3 minutes to go then. Here at Sebring for the second of 3 races. We've got another one to go, and of course we'll have another reverse grid mix-up as well, so we'll see how that shakes out the order. Update on the championship protagonist, Corrington Guinez. What a drive from the young Frenchman. He's up to 11th from right at the back of the pack, and his championship rival, the championship leader Ross McFarlane, he's only in 8th place, so there's only, you know, Guinez has done a super job to climb his way up the order and limit the damage from that lap 1 incident. And who knows how the reverse grid might shake out for race 3. Guinez has been fighting hard to try and close the gap in the points to Ross McFarlane. I think we're going to have a real thrilling championship finale. Now, who was that off in front? I think that was James Corp running wide there on the exit of the long curve, and that'll kill his speed onto the Almond Straight.
Yeah, so a sitting duck right there for Quarantine Gunners, which is gonna move him now into P11. Easy as it goes into Sunset Bend. Outbroken can immediately rejoin the racing line as well, so no speed in reality lost for Quarantine Gunners there.
So there's a battle here between Andy Shield and Neil Butler. Butler on the inside here in the number 16 Audi. Shield going to try and go all the way around the outside in the 3M Honda. Now down again, still side by side down towards turn 3, Christensen corner. Looks like Butler's just going to get it as Shield has to give best for now. And they've got to keep an eye on their mirror as well, because Ross McFarlane is on the way, and you've got to think that he'll be wanting to... He won't want to be wanting to get held up behind these guys. They want to try and pick up even more points, as Guinness is still making progress now. He's actually only 1.5 seconds or so behind McFarlane after that incident. Guinness is absolutely flying tonight. So Svidovic here fighting now with Alex Neller.
Oh, that's deep.
Oh dear. Svidovic almost just into the side door there of Neller, and all the while they're doing this is giving Ben Gregory the biggest free kick in the game, because all the while that they fight, Gregory is able to hold the position, and this will be the last lap. So Oscar Mangan, he's pulled out an advantage of 4.4 seconds from Gregory, but it's the huge battle to see who's going to end up on the podium.
Yeah, Gregory is standing there just outside the penalty box. Can he make this free kick? He has a little bit of a wall there. It is gonna not be the easiest thing to do, but they are gonna go slanted 3 wide down the Almond Straight.
Well, Oscar Mangan's almost home and dry. He's just got one corner to go here. And look at this, 3 wide into Sunset Bend. Gregory on the inside. Dressage in there too. Neller's going to try it as well. Who's going to win this drag race to the line? Here they come then, and look at Neller on the inside in the Honda. This is for second. It's going to be a dead heat at the line. Is it going to be Gregory? Is it going to be Dressage? Is it going to be Neller?
Oh my
for
goodness.
the time screen to figure itself out. It's Gregory, I think.
Wow.
Yes,
yeah, it
Gregory
is.
From Svidovic from Neller. Wow.
Wow. TCR Racing at its best.
Well, that was a throwback to the Mazda MX-5 Cup race last year or 2 years ago. I can't quite remember, but wow, brilliant stuff. And the great thing there was, Steph, they all gave each other room. So 3 cars going round the outside of round Sunset Bend, and fireworks indeed. Fireworks coming out on the outside of the track and on the track as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, that is world-class racing from these guys. Not only 3 wide down a front stretch into the finish line, but also giving themselves enough space so everybody can have a bite at that second place.
Yeah, super stuff. Well, they say the Sunset Bend is the corner of 1,000 lines. Well, there was 3 of them used up. And they can be all done simultaneously, almost like a jumbo Skeletric track there. So, now time for our spinny wheel, with thanks to 3M and Craig's setup shop. Let's see what our reverse grid order is going to be for the third and final sprint race here in the World Touring Car Series. Oh, relatively low number, or is it just gonna creep through to 23? Looks like it's gonna be 19, and by my reckoning, that will be Craig Williams of Craig's Setup Shop, who will be on pole position. So Oscar Mangan, their winner then by 5.2 seconds from, well, look at this, Ben Gregory, Wojciech Svidovic and Alex Neller, almost a dead heat, with just 600ths of a second covering all 3 of them, but Gregory just edging it from Svidovic and Neller. Rafael Dressage was 5th, with McFarlane in 6th, Andy Shield in 7th, Neil Butler in 8th. Corentin Guinez, what a drive from the Frenchman, who was well down the order, right at the back of the pack after an incident in lap 1 and fought all the way back to 9th place. Amazing. Michael Evdoka, he rounds out the top 10. Jake Blackhall was 11th, followed by Mikael Garcia, Michael Polishek, James Corp, Kieran Harrison. Difficult race for Harrison, our race 1 winner, don't forget. Fraser Smith in 16th. Callum Reid-Garton in 17th. David Baker in 18th. And Craig Williams in 19th, who will be our pole sitter. And Adam Hedgecock nearly gets 2 pole positions in a row, but unfortunately missed out by just 1 place. But he did have pole position for that last one, so he's done okay. Dan Robbins was 21st, followed by Jamie Rushworth, Ellis Stevens, Paul Smith, John Roberts, Tom Dadswell, Lee Berridge, Pete Newman, Naveed Hussain and Ash Sutton. A lot of drivers hitting problems for various reasons. Jack Sedgwick going out on lap 1. Well, a little bit more chaos. No, chaos isn't the right word, but certainly a lot more attrition there, Steph. That was a lot more casualties from that race.
Yeah, I mean, it is somewhat expected from a reverse grid, especially if we have 26 cars that are going to be reversed of a 31 car grid, if I got that correctly in my head. So, yeah, most definitely we are going to see a little bit of the hectic stuff, let's call it like that. And I mean, quite honestly, we were safe from that at Barber, which was quite surprising, knowing the nature that is Barber. So it was kind of in the clouds, so to speak, that we're going to have a little bit more of the attrition here at Sebring.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, that's the danger always in the race 2 and 3 reverse grids. Interesting to see how it will play out. I mean, our championship contenders, they'll probably start around the sort of 6th, 7th row. Ross McFarlane and Corentin Guinness are going to be quite close on the grid. McFarlane hasn't been quite on the red hot pace of Guinness tonight. It really seems that Guinness, if it comes together, this is his race to win here in race 3 if he can keep it clean in those early stages.
Yeah, I mean, yes, most definitely if he would have to give out a driver of the race, it most definitely would be Corentin Guinness. I mean, from dead last, he goes back into 9th place, and then on the last lap, he even gets also the fastest lap of the race. So that speaks volume about Corentin right there. But you also have to give it to McFarlane, because he knew, probably got even told by Spot or crew chief, something like that, that Corentin Guinness had problems, that the other championship contenders also have problems right there. So he took it easy. He probably knows that he's not the fastest right now. He probably also knows that he's not going to be the fastest all night long. So he has to go back to where his strong suits are. And that is exactly being exceptionally cool-headed, level-headed when it comes to overtaking slower drivers.
Yeah, I think that's definitely Ross McFarlane's most potent weapon is his patience and his ability. And as we see, Banana has come. Is it Banana who's come back out to see us, Steph? Behind you, they love the camera. They know they're on camera. They're like, oh, I've been inside this whole race, and I think, right, now's my time to shine.
Yeah, most
Banana,
definitely
Muffin,
does seem
Coco are like, yeah, let's get out here and say hello. For those who are just joining us, we're talking about Steph's guinea pigs in the background. Banana, Coco, and Muffin. Yes. Okay. Now we can make sure to get them all right. BC Gaming says it is all kicked off here in race 2. It certainly did. That is for sure. Also, King Carrot says, "What's the Joker Delta?" I do like that. That's a Rallycross themed joke, because the opening lap was more like a Rallycross race. The amount of cars we saw on the grass.
I mean, it depends what kind of choker we have. Do we take the American choker or the European choker? Probably for McFarlane, it was like +2 seconds because of the kerfuffle he had with Naveed Hussain. Even though he took the inside line through Chenevian, it most definitely wasn't the fast line for him.
No, it wasn't. That's for sure. Most of them were taking the European Joker. That's for sure. The longer way around, for certain. We get the lap times, some very hot lap times, particularly interestingly, Steph, last lap 2:12.499 for Mangan, but Corentin Guinness set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, 2:12.0. Wow.
Wow, I mean, that's incredible. 4/10 faster for Guinness right there. Just that one last lap. This is what makes it so hard to call, I think, this last race, because you're gonna have McFarlane and Guinness start so close together. Guinness is gonna be the much faster driver, but I kind of feel like McFarlane is maybe even gonna use Guinness to get himself further up the grid in the first few laps, because he knows that Guinness is gonna be much more aggressive because he is chasing down McFarlane in the standing. So he needs to be that little bit more aggressive to maybe get 2-3 cars between himself and McFarlane, and then have the benefit of knowing that McFarlane isn't gonna go for those risky moves to risk everything and defend his standings lead right now.
We've got Adam Hedgecock, of course, pole sitter in race 2. He said, "Got my best start of the season, but was still third by turn 1." Never mind, Hedge. It was the getaway was perfect. It's not easy. It's not easy to get these cars away. You know, they've got about 350 horsepower, front wheel drive. They're turbocharged as well. I mean, Steph, without giving away your very closely kept secrets, what do you think is the best way to get these cars off the line?
Well, first of all, you have to start the engine. That's very important. But
critical.
Critical, yeah. No power without engine turn on. But no, in all reality, it is. You need a lot of feel in your throttle foot, because otherwise you're immediately gonna light up those tires. You really have to feed in the throttle. Keep it just about at that spin up rev point, and feed it slowly in. You can't just mash the throttle or even just completely release the clutch. You have to hold it a little bit on a point there to really get those revs going, and keep them stable as well, because if you have that clutch released too fast, you're once again gonna light up your tires. Doesn't matter how much throttle you have in.
Yes, it's we've all been there, haven't we? We've all driven a slightly powerful front wheel drive car, and we've all had the flashing of the traction control light coming away from the traffic lights. It's that same feeling. Fraser Smith is interestingly not an interesting comment, saying the Audi is really not up to performance, particularly in the last couple of weeks. There's been a little bit of an update, and Steph, is it the point where the Audi, now being the kind of oldest car out of the TCR mix, does it kind of get pushed to the side sort of thing, and then the new cars come to the fore? Is there any truth in that?
There sort of is, but also not really. The thing is, with new stuff is always shiny. New is always better, most of the times, that is. So people are gonna leave what they know, what they trust, what have been racing for a lot of time, to leave for something new. And especially with the Elantra, it has a longer wheelbase, so it is that little bit better, undoubtedly. The one thing the Audi still has going for it is the top speed. It is the fastest out of all the cars that we have on the grid. However, it gets a long time going there, so that's also something that the Audi doesn't really have going for it either. And so it always is like that. I mean, it is like the GT3s with the Ford GT3. It is still there. It can still be extremely powerful at tracks like, for example, Okayama, where it is every single time one of the most powerful cars we have there. So it isn't so much of old is just not good. It is just because people are moving away from it. iRacing doesn't get enough data to set the BOP so that one particular car can catch up to the others and be once again fully competitive.
Yeah, that's you've hit the nail on the head there, Steph. It's data. You need that data to get the balance of performance correct. Of course, that's something we've seen in IMSA, in the outdoor world of racing, where they are very much data led with their balance of performance settings, whereas other championships are a little bit more discussion led, shall we say. Let's just leave it at that. 3 minutes to go before we get racing in the World Touring Car Series for the third and final race of the day. It's going to be Craig Williams starting on pole position. Hello to you all watching tonight on RaceSpot RaceSpotTV. Great to have your company. Do let us know where you're watching from in the world, who you're watching with, and most importantly, what race snacks you're having. Race snacks are critical. Steph, what are your normal go-to race/commentary snacks?
It most definitely does depend. The bottle of water is a must-have, that's for certain. That voice is not gonna last that many hours of commentating, but what is always trusty is an orange.
Oh, you're very healthy. I'm very impressed. Yeah, and isn't that particularly fitting that we're in Florida? Florida orange.
Yeah.
And the winners of the Sebring 12-hour, instead of drinking the milk like they do at the Indy 500, they have the orange juice. They have a big glass of orange juice. I wouldn't want to dunk that over my head, though. I mean, milk or orange juice, what would be worse? What would you rather put over your head, milk or orange juice?
I think after 12 hours of racing, it doesn't matter. It's refreshing.
Sticky.
Yes, it is sticky, but the good thing is that's the racing suit, so you're not gonna have to wash it anyway. So that's somebody else's problem. I guess.
I always wondered this: if winners, like if you win the Sebring 12-hour, that's a big race, and if you've dunked orange juice all over it, are you going to just put it in the cupboard as is, or are you going to wash it first? Also, imagine if you win the Indy. I do not know the answer to this. If drivers win the Indy 500, they pour the milk over their head. Surely their suits must be, and it's hot, must be so smelly. Surely they must wash them. But then, do you want to wash an Indy 500 winning suit?
Well, you could always put it into a vacuum chamber.
Oh, that's full factory. That's a Penske solution. I bet you that's when the Penske drivers win it, they're like, don't worry, we've created we've created a super technical machine that can just eliminate the smell but keep the patina. Yeah, that would be what Penske have probably got a machine for that. For me, it's the race. Very important. I always find a cup of tea with a bit of honey in it is very good. I've also got it in my minion mug here as well. This is Stuart. Or Stuart. So he's always there beside me in the commentary box. Well, so there you go. Do let us know what your race snacks, your things that get you through the races. 28 seconds to go and the drivers will be lining up for the third and final race. A few of them getting out there and just putting in a few warm-up laps. Michael Avdoka fastest in the warm-up session at the moment, 0.2 of a second quicker than Andy Shield, with Lee Berridge out there turning some laps as well. It's been a pretty difficult start to the day for Lee Berridge. Can he make something up in race 3? Well, the one thing is, Steph, that we've got a much more, normally have over 50 cars on the grid. Tonight we've got about 30. So if you do have a bad night, you've always got a chance to at least get up and get some sort of result.
Yeah, you're not going to be too far away anyway from even just the top 15. So you have all the chances going for you if you really need them.
So Craig Williams and David Baker will start on the front row with Callum Reid-Garton, Fraser Smith, Kieran Harrison and James Corb rounding out row 3. Row 4 will be Michael Polishek and Mikhail Garcia, followed by Jake Blackhall, Michael Avdoka, Corentin Guinness and Neil Butler. Then it's Andy Shield, Ross McFarlane, Rafael Dressaz, Alex Neller, Wojciech Savidovic and Ben Gregory. Then it's our winner from race 2, Oscar Mangan, then followed by Adam Hedgecock, Dan Robbins, Jamie Rushworth, Ella Stevens and Paul Smith. Tom Dadswell will start from 25th with John Roberts in 26th. Then it's Lee Berridge, Pete Newman and Jack Cedric rounding out our 29 car grid for race number 3. No sign of Ash Sutton. He is done for the day. The drivers are there. It's now pitch black here at Sebring. Off we go. Green, green, green. We're racing here in Florida. And Craig Williams gets a reasonable getaway and throws a nice juicy block there to try and keep Callum Reid-Garton at bay as they tumble down into turn 1. David Baker's going on the big high line there as well as they go 3 wide down towards Christensen Corner. Who is going to come out on top here? Oh, a bit of a slide there for Callum Garton. He's going to try and get the lead. But it's Craig Williams, the wily fox that he is. Oh, he takes the initiative and leads through to Gurney Bend.
Yeah, so it was a great start. Had a little bit of door banging, but apart from a little bit of door banging, it's it. Although I just saw that Tom Datswell has left the session.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, Harrison!
Kieran Harrison, what a start from 5th on the grid. Now, did he get that move done? I don't think he did.
He
Where's
made
he
it
gone?
down onto the grass. That's the sad thing for Harrison. He actually completely missed the hairpin.
Oh, Kieran Harrison, now that's a pretty uncharacteristic mistake from the British teams. Oh, dear me. Oh, it's a big crash there as well as Fraser Smith into the wall, and a torrid night here at Sebring continues for the full send driver. Now, who is that? Now, that's a Pearson's car off in the background. Is that our championship leader in the wall? I'm not sure. No, it's not, because Ross McFarlane's showing in 10th position right now. So I wonder if that was Pete Newman. Yes, it is. Pete Newman crashing out. Oh, dear. So, what a chaotic opening lap then as well. Craig Williams leads from Callum Reid Garton in the Hyundai Veloster. He's there in 2nd position. David Baker in 3rd. Of course, had a podium in race 1. If he could get a podium here in race 3, he'll come away with a huge haul of points, possibly the biggest haul of any driver tonight for Dr. David Baker.
Oh, little bit of door contact there between Guinness and who's that on the outside? Blackhall. So it is kicking off. Oh, someone hit the wall there.
Oh,
That might have been Blackhall again.
Oh dear, it's been a bruising night for Jake Blackhall. Craig Williams leads for Craig Shedupshaw Honda. Callum Reid Garton in the Hyundai Veloster in 2nd. Then it's the Hyundai Elantra of David Baker. But Guinness, what a start for Corentin Guinness. He's up to 4th already in the 333 car. We know how much pace he's got, and it's going to take everything the field have got to try and keep Corentin Guinness out of the winner's circle here in the 3rd and final race of the day. There's Ross McFarlane. He's still in 10th position, trying to make his way forward. He's battling away with Jake Blackhall in the 97 machine. They head down into the hairpin once again. And McFarlane does get the move done, up to 9th spot.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit that McFarlane has picked up the pace and he's a little bit more aggressive in traffic because Guinness is now starting to attack P2 already.
Corentin Guinness has just got such an advantage here in terms of pace. But the one thing is you'll need to be careful here around Callum Reid Garton. He's looking very aggressive, very racy right now, and in no mood to jump out the way. In fact, quite the opposite for the number 22 driver. And look at the run he's got there in the Veloster. Craig Williams is under a lot of pressure as they head through to Jean de Bihan Bend into Le Mans Curve. And Callum Reid Garton goes for the inside. Big look up the inside. Can he hold on to it as well? They need to be careful here. Guinness is going to go for the cutback. There he goes. He's got a good drive out the corner. Callum Reid Garton falls back a little bit, and it's Craig Williams who leads onto the Ulman Straight.
Yeah, what is Baker gonna do? Is he gonna sit in behind the 333 and try to push him? Guinness, yeah, he backs off of that. So he is not gonna get that bump draft, and Garton, for at least right now, is gonna keep that 2nd place. But here once again comes Corentin Guinness.
Oh, Corentin Guinness intimidating Reid Garton, resting there, just putting his nose on the quarter panel, trying to unsettle Reid Garton, and he does. He gets through then, but Reid Garton's gone back to the inside line. He's not going to give this up without a fight as they head into turn 1, and Guinness just gets the job done. That was really quite hard work there for Guinness to get the job done on Reid Garton. Nope, just Hazel tries to look back again, but nothing that Reid Garton can do. So Guinness up to 2nd, and it's only Craig Williams who is in the way for Guinness now and the race lead. But you know that Craig Williams is going to put up a very stern defence.
Oh,
there he goes to the inside lane quickly, just in the nick of time to cover off.
He is gonna try to hold him off, but for how much longer is the question, because here once again comes the 333.
Well, if the longer that Craig Williams can hold off Guinness, well, the more a chance of a second go at things for Callum Reed-Garton. But look at Guinness around the outside at Cunningham corner. Wowee, what a move. Well, the late great Briggs Cunningham would have definitely approved of that superb move there from Corentin Guinness. He hits the front, and look at Callum Reed-Garton. He wants to go as well. Williams runs wide. So Callum Reed-Garton in the Hyundai Veloster trying to keep tabs with Corentin Guinness, but I do wonder if it'll be a futile attempt. But Reed-Garton definitely looking like he's got a lot of pace here and looking to try and win the battle of the best of the rest. And look at Guinness, he's just pulling out car length with every corner.
Yeah, obviously them fighting also doesn't help, and that also means that Ross McFarlane is gonna lose more and more track position to Corentin Guinness, because he is still stuck at the very back end of this train.
Well. This is now damage limitation. We saw Corentin Guinness having to engage damage limitation in race 2 and doing so very well. Now it's up. The ball is back in the court of McFarlane. He's got to get his way to the front of this pack and reduce the points deficit to Guinness, who is off like a shot. He's already 1.2 seconds ahead as they all fan into turn 1, 3 wide. Oh, and it's a little bit of contact there as well, and it's a pinball effect. Williams into, I think that was Baker, but who was it on the inside there? It's hard to tell.
I think
it was Polishek. Polishek into the side of Williams, who then in turn clatters into David Baker, and that has actually given Ross McFarlane a little bit of a free kick there.
Yeah, 2 positions there for him, so he's not gonna be too mad about that one. That means 2 positions he doesn't have to fight, unlike James Corp.
Corp here just trying to tuck the nose in there, get back on the power, heading up towards the Fangio chicane, and Michael Evdoka just gives a little hip check saying, that's my piece of track, I will take that, thank you very much. And Corp very wisely just decides to just yield for then and decides to fight back another day, and there it is straight away. James Corp, number 285, tries to get the move done and nearly tangles with Oscar Mangan, who runs wide. This is the thing, if you pick a fight, be sure you're ready for all the others who might take advantage of it. Very tactical. This is kind of this touring car racing. It's a wonderful mix of chess. It's so tactical. It's like chess and bare knuckle boxing all at once.
Yeah, that is a great description of TCR racing, especially I think at a track like Sebring that offers so many different passing opportunities.
It does, yeah, and you have to be creative in certain places, but you're right, the opportunities are there if you can come up with the solution. So, Corentin Guinness leads then by 1.6 seconds from Callum Reed-Garton. Wojciech Savidovic is up to third. Now, someone getting a slowdown penalty at the back is shot there. Michael Polishek in fourth, with championship leader Ross McFarlane in fifth, as Evdoka and Mangan going side by side here. Evdoka on the inside line. Is he going to shut the door? Yes, he does. Mangan has to go then for the cutback and try and make another run at it. And as Paul Smith said in our track guide, often you're setting up a move 2 or 3 corners before.
Yeah, especially in this kind of section. Evdoka is on the inside, but here comes the switchback from Mangan. Is he gonna be able to do it? No, just doesn't get a drive out of turn 1.
Yeah, not quite there as well. So last time by, Corentin Guinness a 2:12.6. And as the fuel load comes down on the car, I think that lap time will come down even more. We saw him do a 2:12.0 in the last race, as side by side here between Mikel Garcia in the 83 Hyundai Veloster and Jack Sedgwick there in the Honda, with Rafael Dressage right behind there in the white and orange Hyundai Elantra. Look at Sedgwick, he pops out to the inside. Garcia, just shuts the door just in the nick of time.
Yeah, great move though from Garcia, and that also did cost Jack Sedgwick a lot of time, so he might even now be under pressure from Rafael Dressage there to that 13th place. No.
Oh, a little bit of a hip check there. Wojciech Savidovic just has a little hip and barge past Callum Reed-Garton, but Callum Reed-Garton just does not know when he's beat. He's fighting back with every possible opportunity with real Troy Bayliss style tenacity. If he gets past, he just goes and tries to fight back twice as hard as they go side. Oh, that was. Oh, Callum Reed-Garton and Michael Polishek, neither driver wanting to relent. They tangle together. Well, a valiant drive comes to a pretty abrupt end there for Callum Reed-Garton.
And once again, Ross McFarlane profits from that.
Yep, very good point, Steph. That is very, very true. And this is what Ross McFarlane does. If he's not necessarily got the pace in each night, he maximises that opportunity so well. That kind of Jonathan Ray, Colin Turkington style, where just make sure that every result he gets is as best a result as is possible. Does not throw away any big chances, and that's exactly what he's doing right now, waiting for the race to come to him. He's up to 4th, and Guinness could run off and win this race by 20 seconds, but if McFarlane comes in 2nd, well, the points handed out. You don't get extra points for winning by a mile. It's all about the position. So that's something that McFarlane plays very, very well. That's why he leads this championship. He's up to 3rd now. He's just got past Michael Polishek, who you wonder might well have a bit of damage after that tangle with Reed-Garton. Oh!
Oh no!
Oh! I think that's Pete Newman, his teammate. Yes, it is.
Yep, once again. And that was, I think, with Paul Smith there on the inside as well.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Right, let's get a look then. This is what happened with Reed-Garton and...
Oh! Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be... If you're Reed-Garton, you've got to be pretty angry at that. You could say that Polishek maybe should have given a bit more room, but it's very difficult to criticise from the sideline when it's so hot and heavy in these situations. Then.
Yeah, especially you have been fighting for a lap, 1.5, 2 laps, something like that. At one point, you're just gonna try to keep that door a little bit more shut, so that they have to be a little bit more on the outside line. But just unlucky. There as well for Fraser Smith. How unlucky, and then hits the wall straight on.
It looked like he got nerfed by Cedric there. No, that's actually... Oh no, it's Lee Berridge again getting involved in an incident, and poor old Pete Newman comes off 2nd best. It's not been Pete Newman's night in any measure. Quite a few drivers going away with really very little to show for their night's work here at Sebring. Of course, the drivers will have done a huge amount of mileage over the last little while, because of course they've got the Sebring 12-hour virtual event this weekend here on the iRacing platform. Of course, we had the real world event last weekend, which is very interesting. There's Harrison looking up the inside. He's got the fastest lap of the race, not Guinness, our leader, interestingly. So Harrison's the man on the move at the moment. But he'll want to finish a little bit better than 7th, that's for sure, especially with this pace.
Yeah, and he has the chance. Don't forget it. The good thing is for him, the train for 3rd place. It's not for 2nd place. It's not that far up there. It's only 1.5, 2 seconds for Harrison. So with the pace he's right now having, he can get there in no time, because Svidovic at the front of that 2nd place train is only doing 2:13s, so a lot slower than what Harrison is doing right now.
Yeah, very good point. That it's all about where the train is. Good point, and there is a big train here from 2nd all the way back to 6th. So Oscar Mangan has a look up the inside of Craig Williams. This is a battle for 8th position. This is behind Harrison, and of course Mangan, teammate of Kieran Harrison. Craig Williams from pole, just trying to make the most of this grid position, trying to get home with the biggest haul of points that he can. But it's Guinness who leads by 4.2 seconds. He's gone. He's checked out. A 2:12.5 last time by, well over half a second quicker than anyone. With the exception of Oscar Mangan, oddly. Oscar Mangan, actually, the fastest, equal to the thousandth of a second, just as fast as our leader Guinness last time by.
Oh, and here comes Ross McFarlane now for 2nd place into Sunset Bend.
So this is critical then. Oh, McFarlane looks to have gone a little bit wide. That Hyundai Elantra just wagging its tail a little bit. We saw Pete Newman with a similar issue, of course, racing for the same outfit. I'd imagine he'll have a relatively similar setup. Polishek rubbing the wall there. So you're thinking maybe as McFarlane got rear grip issues like Pete Newman did, he goes right round to the wide line, but Savinovic, he's seen that one before. Savinovic, a serial champion in touring car racing here in iRacing, but so is Ross McFarlane. This is a proper all-star battle going on here. And McFarlane can't quite get the move done on Savinovic. And Polishek, he's in there as well. He's the leading AM-class driver. But 2 cars behind, there's Jake Blackwell. I'm sure I want to take that honour away.
And Polishek most definitely looks like he wants a piece of that cake. There's 3 pieces, and he wants to take at least that 3rd piece that is still on the plate.
Yep, it's there for the taking. Let's see if we can get a hold of it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here at Sebring. And this could be a good result here for Wojciech Savinovic to get some strong points for his championship charge. He's not out of it as we head into the sort of the latter third of the season, and every point counts in this context. And Ross McFarlane knows it. He really knows it, and he would love to get past Wojciech Savinovic here. He can see his championship rival Corentin Guinez disappearing up the road, and I just want to try and limit that point damage as much as he possibly can. Problem is, though, the cavalry is coming in the form of Kieran Harrison, the number 93. He's now well onto the back of this group. And if Kieran Harrison, well, he's got a lap to do it, could he pose a threat? It's a lot of work to do, but you can't write him off.
Yeah, he's most definitely at least gonna try for that 5th place of David Baker. I think he can get there, but really challenging for a 3rd or 2nd place, I don't think there is gonna be enough time, because we are just 1 or maybe 2 laps away from the end of this race.
I think it's going to be just the last lap here. Yep, last lap. Yep. White flag being waved, Barney the flagman. So this is the final lap of the meeting. Oh, a little bit of side-to-side contact there from Wojciech Savinovic to Ross McFarlane, and McFarlane that just jinks to the side just to give himself a little bit of comfort, a little bit of breathing room then. But Savinovic under pressure then from McFarlane. McFarlane goes around the outside to try and get the inside for the switchback here, but then he'll go back to the outside again as they head through towards turn 6 and up towards turn 7, Gurney Bend. But that then means that McFarlane's got the inside line here, and here comes Polishek. Polishek's got his elbows out as well. He's giving McFarlane a push. This is proper Talladega stuff.
Yeah, this is touring cars at its best once again, but this time from the bump and grind, because here they go 2 by 2 once again into the hairpin.
The big loser from that has been Wojciech Savinovic. He's been shuffled back from 2nd all the way back to 6th in half a lap, so it's a disaster for Savinovic so far. Can he fight back? Michael Polishek, he's an AM-class driver, but he's not caring. He's not letting that keep him down. He's right in there with the cream of the crop of the pro class. Is David Baker fighting desperately to keep Kieran Harrison at bay. So Ross McFarlane has done what he needs to do for now, but it's 3 wide. Oh, Harrison sits it on the door of Baker. Baker can't do anything about it. He flashes the lights, and you can see why. Kieran Harrison getting a little bit over-aggressive there. We're not, to be honest, not really used to seeing that from the British University's team karting champion. Yeah, we don't normally see that kind of conduct, but this is touring car racing. It can get heavy sometimes. It can get loud. So Guinez is off into the distance, but has McFarlane got enough of a gap to keep Michael Polishek, the AM-class driver, at bay? Polishek is going without any problem, is in place to win the AM class. Is he going to try and go for 2nd? McFarlane shuts the door, checkered flag in the air. It's Corentin Guinez closes the gap in the championship fight here in the World Touring Car Series. It's Ross McFarlane coming home in 2nd position, limiting that damage as much as he can. Good drive from the championship leader, Michael Polishek. An overall podium, an AM class win with Kieran Harrison charging through to 4th spot. What a finish.
Yeah, and also smart driving there from Polashek. In the end, didn't try to push the envelope too deep in there because he remembered that he is racing right there with the points leader, and you really don't want to mess up the race of the points leader, especially down into the last corner.
Well, the fireworks roar off here at Sebring International Raceway. What a meeting we've had here. 3 20-minute sprint races with different storylines in each. Kieran Harrison getting the win in race number 1, and Oscar Mangan winner in race number 2, and Corentin Guinez in race number 3. Different storylines, but the same team on top of the standing. Corsim Racing, remember, for the team's championship, that may well put Corsim Racing ahead of Pure Sims for the first time this season. So, Corentin Guinez then your winner, with Ross McFarlane, the championship leader, in second. Michael Polashek, winner in the AM class, and third overall. Kieran Harrison was fourth, followed by Wojciech Savidovic, David Baker, Jake Blackhall, Oscar Mangan, Craig Williams, and Michael Evdoka. Neil Butler was 11th, followed by James Corp, Jack Cedric, Mikael Garcia, Rafael Dressas, Lee Berridge, Andy Shield, Jamie Rushworth, Alex Neller, and John Roberts. 21st was Pete Newman after a really tough day at the office. Adam Hedgecock was 22nd, followed by Dan Robbins, Ben Gregory, Paul Smith in 25th, Ellis Stevens in 26th, and poor old Callum Reed-Garton taken out of the game early on after a really valiant effort at the front of the pack. Fraser Smith, well, a night to forget for him, and especially so for poor old Tom Dadswell. Qualified like a hero, and unfortunately went to zero very, very quickly. Fastest lap of the race, look at that time, 2:11.799 from Kieran Harrison. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, that is, I think, even quite close to what we saw in qualifying from our pole sitter. So very great stuff there from Kieran Harrison.
Well, Steph, since it's your first day with us in the World Touring Car Series commentary box, I will hand you over to, well, the man of the moment, Michael Polashek, overall podium winner, AM class winner as well. He's with you.
Welcome, Michael Polashek. Now, race 3, most definitely one of the greatest performances we have seen from an amateur driver, and it kind of speaks for the moment right now you guys in the AM class are having, because you're most definitely starting to take the fight to the pro drivers.
Well, this was a really difficult race. Long season. The Audi definitely was not fitting well with my driving style, so I eventually switched to the Hyundai, hoping that things would turn things around, and getting a P9 and a P6 last round at Barber, and then finally my first ever podium of the series. This is just such a competitive series, and I'm really happy that things finally went right for once and was able to get a podium. This series definitely taught me a lot about just racecraft and how to race other drivers, when to pick your fights and everything. And I'm really happy that it finally came around to get this podium.
Yeah, most definitely did. The season did turn around for you in that Hyundai. Now, tell us, what made you stick to the decision to go into the Hyundai and try everything with it? What is it for you that makes this Elantra so much more drivable than the Audi?
Well, I was able to get into the another series, the Hyundai NE Festival, and I was preparing for that. So I thought, why not just switch cars, and it would give me a good amount of practice for that, as well as potentially improve my pace. I saw that a lot of the really fast guys were running the Hyundai, and they were just running away from me everywhere on the straights and the corners and everything. So I thought that maybe a car change would be the thing I needed in order to get myself further up the leaderboard. And I'm really happy that I was finally able to bring the Majors Garage Hyundai a podium.
Well, last but not least, Michael, tell us, what brings the future for you? We have seen 6th place from you last time around. We have seen now a podium from you. Is a win maybe even on the hands quite soon here for you?
Well, I can't really say that, but we'll just let the cards fall where they may, and if a win comes, a win comes.
A win might come indeed if the hands fall correctly. Michael, thank you very much for joining us. Wish you a very great rest of your evening because, let's be honest, there is some potential to celebrate today's racing for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And also thank you to Major's Garage for all the support they provide and Full Send Racing for all the support they provide as well.
Michael Polashek, Peter, a great race for another great amateur driver.
Absolutely. Amateur by name, professional by nature. What a performance from Michael Polashek, and what a championship battle we have brewing. Hardly anything to separate Ross McFarlane and Corentin Guinez on points. Does Guinez have the edge on pace? Potentially, but it's all about how many points you come out with at the end of the day. Stefan, final thoughts before we sign off here on RaceSpotTV.
I kind of want to go on to the thought that you have put into the room. Is Corentin gonna be the man to bring the fight to Ross McFarlane? I think on a good day for Corentin and a bad day for McFarlane, which we might have seen this time around, it might just well be possible. But we're still not allowed to forget he was ahead of Corentin Guinez in race 1 by 2 positions. He was once again ahead in race 2 by 2 positions. So even though Guinez might have the speed on Ross McFarlane, don't ever count out McFarlane on a bad day because he's always gonna be there when it's time for the reverse grid.
A very good point indeed. Well, be sure to join us next time here on RaceSpot TV for the next round of the World Touring Car Series. You can catch that on the 31st of March, 7:45 UTC. We go to the Hungaroring, which I'm sure will be very interesting indeed. That Formula One circuit with overtaking opportunities, maybe not so aplenty, but in the touring cars, well, they start to appear from anywhere. Well, on behalf of myself, Peter Mackay, and Stefan Schlacker, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on RaceSpot TV.